Why would I make them so uncomfortable?
It probably has to do with your reputation. They feel your methods, your theories are...
Spooky? Do you think I'm spooky?
His face was so blank and expressionless. He didn't even seem human.
I'm not turning my back on anyone!
Have you ever found a metal implant in your body? You checked everywhere?
Mulder, you have to understand!
Put it down!
You put it down first!
Scully!
We're finally going to learn the truth.
I never thought we'd actually make it this far.
I know, and we still have more to go.
There's still more. There's still more Mulder.
I know. This feels though like we've did it. We climbed Mount Everest, and now we just have to climb back down. You know?
Yeah.
But we
beat the game. Now we just have to 100% it.
Exactly. Like if we die, we did it. We did it.
Yeah, we did it. We did it. We did what nobody else has done.
Nobody else has done.
Nobody else. Period.
Yep. This is a call Guinness. We got to get this shit. We got to get this shit down as a world record.
Yeah. Well, I think actually we would need to record the 2 episodes that I'd missed.
All right. We could do that.
That would be that would officially be you and me doing every single episode of the original run.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't believe we're here, folks. Welcome
Me either.
to a brand new episode of Fox Mulder is a Maniac. Famium. For the historians, this is a free episode. So this will be available to everyone because this is part 1 of something. And you know, we hook you. We hook you. This is how we hook you.
Yeah, we lay
and
the
if you
hook.
want part 2, you have to go to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed, GAMEFULLY, unemployed, to get the second half of The Truth. This is season 9, episode 19, The Truth Part 1. This is the series finale.
It's the series finale.
The first series finale.
The first series finale. Oh,
they had been, for people who don't know, this is an episode this is a show where we watch the X-Files and we talk about how Agent Mulder perhaps should not be in the FBI. He is reckless and
or really
has
just
built a cult.
Allowed to be loose in polite society.
Yes.
Really. He should be on a chain or like monitored.
Yeah, it was always going to end with him in jail. And boy.
Well, like this episode opens with Mulder getting arrested by the military in a top secret government installation. And it's not the first time for any of those things.
It certainly isn't. You know what this episode reminds me of?
All 3 of those things are things that are happening for the second time at least.
Yeah. First of all, if you're new, go back and listen, because we have been going through this, and it's just all coming to this. This episode reminds me of the finale of Seinfeld, where it's just, let's have just them put on trial, and we just hear everything they did.
And everything he ever did.
It's just Mulder's legacy, just spoken by very serious people, explaining what he did. It's so funny.
This is... I don't remember what it was like at the time, but watching this now, this is like a shocking finale for this show. Because basically what it is it's like a 2-episode courtroom case of just them putting Mulder on trial, which is essentially putting the X-Files on trial. You
know how good Mulder is in court.
Yeah.
Famously so, yeah.
He does really well in a courtroom situation.
Yeah.
But like what it actually is, it's just like a nice way for them to summarize the series and connect all the threads that were confusing and all that stuff.
Yes. But it's basically them going like, okay, so here's what fucking happened.
So here's what happened. Yeah. It's a little like Game of Thrones, where it's like they got to the end. It's like, oh, I guess I was a little like too mysterious with some of this shit. It's like a precursor to Lost. But like, so these last 2 episodes are just them kind of going through the whole conspiracy and connecting everything that's been going on over the past 9 years. And it just sounds like the dumbest show that was ever made. It sounds so stupid, Dave.
So I can
They
tell you what
all
it was
sound like fucking idiots.
Yeah,
Every
they sound
character
ridiculous.
that we've loved for the past decade sounds like a crazy moron in this episode.
And it's so funny in a courtroom setting to these very serious people.
Oh my
They're
God.
explaining this shit.
When they're talking
It's
about
amazing.
super soldiers and aliens and this kind of aliens, and then Scully's talking about renegade aliens. What the fuck is? It's
So
it's it's you know that in Hot Rod, the riot scene in Hot Rod,
yeah,
where they come out of it and they're just like on this on the edge of on the outskirts of the riot or whatever. Like, man, that really got out of control really fast.
yeah, exactly.
Like it's like them suddenly realizing how far into it they've wandered.
Yeah.
It's just when you lay it all out just as a sequential narrative, it is the dumbest thing.
There should be several moments where Scully just like stops in her testimony and they're like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, sorry, I've never said it all out loud before."
When you hear it all out loud, it sounds really fucking dumb. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Just like looking from the outside in, they just look like a bunch of maniacs that got taken into Mulder's cult.
Yes, it really looks like that. It's so funny that this is a private military trial, and I kept being like, "Make it public. Yeah, that's all
Make
you
it
need
public.
to do, and you're done. He's
done. You don't need to
He's
do
cooked."
anything to him. Yeah. Nobody will ever believe him.
Yeah, this
Like
sounds.
the government
it's the biggest
actually
scandal.
does this.
Yeah.
Like, the government has done this stuff in the past.
Yeah, this would
Take
be the
somebody
biggest
who is
scandal.
who is actually telling the truth, but make
Yeah.
it look like they're just a maniac.
It's incredible. It's absolutely fucking.
And it's so serious. It's so stone cold
It's so
serious.
serious.
Like, this is them giving us what they think we've wanted all these years. And like I said, I don't remember what it was like to watch it in 2002 because I'm not sure if I even saw all of it. I was
So
pretty
I
checked
did.
out of the X-Files. Oh yeah, please tell me. Yeah.
Yeah, because my history is I checked out during the middle of season 9. A lot of these episodes that we've rewatched are episodes that I either half watched or some of them I don't think I ever had seen before.
A
Because
good
the Dog and
handful
Reyes,
of them. Yeah, I never
yeah, the
saw.
Dog and Reyes years I sort of checked out, but when I heard the finale was coming, I of course was like, okay, Mulder's back because, yeah, this. I mean, a little
Mulder's
behind the
back
scenes.
because evolution didn't work out
Yeah,
the summer before.
This is the first and only X-Files episode where all the 5 principal actors are credited. Duchovny,
In the opening credits.
Anderson, Gish, Patrick, Pileggi. It's also, of course, marks that Mulder, Scully, and the Smoking Man are the only characters to be in both the first and last X-Files episodes, which is neat.
Yeah.
But
And that's cool.
That, like,
the quick reminder that he wasn't even supposed to be a character. If you guys don't
No, he
remember back to
wasn't.
that
He was
first
a side-
episode,
yeah, he was
just supposed to be a
featured
guy
extra.
in the background that was supposed to represent a sinister government conspiracy, but then they just made him that
love
character.
shit.
Yeah, it's
That's
great.
like watching early TNG. There's a lot of that where Chief O'Brien is kind of like there's a bunch of background people, and Chief O'Brien kind of like slowly emerges from that, where
Yeah.
you could tell they're like trying to test people. But yeah, having watched this at the time, this was actually very satisfying because it was, to its credit, a lot of mystery boxes. You mentioned Lost. They don't do this. They try to stay mysterious and cool the whole way. And so when it ends, like I remember Lost ending and me going, "That was bullshit." Just like, no, you can't just tell me things that happen. Answer it because I don't think you guys know. I don't think you guys know. So it's nice to watch the writers just go like, okay, so we had it all written out and here's what it is. Is it dumb? Yes. It's very dumb.
Is it dumb? Did I maybe possibly withhold too much?
Yeah.
Yes.
But it all ties together. And I remember
does.
being very satisfied at that fact where they're like, okay, so at the beginning of time, a comet crash. Should we try to explain it?
Sure. So, like at the beginning of time, a comet with alien life crashed on the Earth.
Check.
It was the black ooze.
It hides in our petroleum.
Yeah. And then that brings down the alien spacecraft in Roswell. It's the magnetite.
The magnetite,
And
yeah.
So anyway, aliens tried to take over the world once before, but they were killed by the first ice age. And the Anasazi Indians had something to do with it. Like, they were the first conspiracy, apparently.
Yeah, they were the earliest civilization we still have that, like, knew about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that explains, like, Fight the Future. If you remember, it starts with cavemen.
Yeah.
With the black oil and shit like that. And the frozen in ice, like, spaceship and all that. So, like, ancient alien shit. And
it's a lot of ancient alien stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then...
oh, boy, that's just really... I mean...
The government knows about it since Roswell because the magnetite or whatever fucking crashed. Yeah. Because that's their weakness, those rocks. And that's why the Anasazi, like, built
their pueblos in there. It was where they would go to... It's where the original conspiracy, as the cigarette smoking man puts it, went to hide out from the aliens the first time.
Yes. The Mayans knew about it, hence their calendar ending at 2012, because the big truth in the end is that there will be a 2012 invasion.
Yeah, that's when colonization is going to take place. Like, the human-alien hybrids, like the surrogates they were using with Scully and the clones and stuff with Mulder's sister, that's all to make a race of alien-human hybrids that'll be a slave race.
Scully says slave race, and everybody just, like, flinches in their room of, like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, boy, yeah. The super soldiers are also aliens, apparently.
Yes.
Humans replaced by aliens.
Basically, aliens have been here from the start. That's what the black oil was.
And there's like 4 or 5 different aliens.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me, only because it's like racist to assume there's just one type of alien, right? Like, there'd be a few, but like, it's wild that they're all warring for Earth. Like, what do we have?
Yeah, what's the big...
Why?
Yeah,
they never answer that, but
not really.
And then the government starts getting involved in creating hybrids and trying to make deals with the aliens, basically. In the end, the syndicate is they're kind of right in that, like, they're trying to prevent an invasion, you know?
Well, sort of. They're trying to buy themselves the golden ticket to, like, come out on top after the aliens take over. They're trying to beat the Russians into developing a vaccine for the black oil, but they all get murked by the aliens who had their eyes and mouths sewn shut to protect themselves from the black
that was like
oil.
Season 5, yeah.
Yeah. The alien bounty hunters are a separate race of mercenary aliens that just work for the Greys/Black Ooze, which are the same thing. You get the Black Ooze that infects you with a gray alien. Boom, you turn into a gray alien.
Yeah.
I think we covered it all.
We've seen that.
That's in the movie, yeah.
Yeah,
and I think in one of the episodes,
Yeah, remember the power plant? They, like, hatch out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the power plant episode.
Their young looks like goblins, and then they like turn into greys. Yeah, so it's a lot. This was, of course, written and directed by Chris Carter, I believe. I know he wrote it. Yeah.
Christopher Cartier.
Yeah, he quoted saying, "It's the end. You don't get another chance, so you better put everything you've ever wanted to put into the episode." And he did. Boy,
he does.
Did he.
He sure does.
Yeah, there's not much for behind the scenes until the second episode. Then there's, like, a big thing I'm excited for sharing. Noted that, Duchovny is back. Yeah, I mean, I think we could just get started.
I think we could just dive right in, man.
Yeah, a lot of the other behind the scenes is for part 2, so people are going to have to listen to that. Let's talk about the world's luckiest detective. Agent Mulder, and you know, we've been like doing other characters and shit. We're doing Mulder again. This is pure Mulder.
Back.
We're back.
He's back. We never have to do another After Dark without him. You realize that?
We never have to do another After Dark without him. You're right.
There's only going to be 17 or 18 more episodes of this.
Yep. Sadly, this is the second to last Doggett doesn't need this.
Yep.
Because Doggett
he doesn't come back.
Not coming back.
We don't see him again.
Yeah. So I wrote.
Okay, yeah. I'm curious to hear what you
words.
have. Yep.
Alex Krycek, ghost lawyer.
There's a number of things. Krychek's ghost inexplicably appears to Mulder to help him make it through black site interrogation and just spirit-breaking brainwashing, and then also guides him through the courtroom. And at no point is Mulder like, well, at first he says, "No, you're dead," which is a funny thing for Mulder to say. Him specifically. It's like, Mulder, I believe in 19 different kinds of ghosts.
Right. It's like, this is a force ghost. These are force ghosts.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that what I'm getting into is an After Dark thing, so I'll leave that for After Dark.
You're right about that, but what I was going to say is, like, the ghost showing up, I just didn't know if that counted as lucky or Mulder had finally lost his mind.
I think it's both.
I mean,
because
X shows up and literally gives him stuff to help.
Like, X gives him something he could not have possibly known. He gives him Marita Covarrubias' address because she's hiding out because she doesn't want to be a witness. I thought she was dead. So.
Me too.
But yeah, the luckiest thing here is we find out that, well, that's an After Dark thing, but the luckiest thing here is that he's in deep cover. We find out he's been hiding in New Mexico for the past year, being hidden by Gibson. The child he failed. The psychic boy he failed.
I mean, that's my luckiest thing is that he literally has X-Men on his side. Like, he has a psychic child and ghosts helping him.
Like, he is 5 ghosts.
So many ghosts.
The lone gunmen aren't in this one, but they show up in the next one.
Yeah. He is balls deep in ghosts in this episode.
He's just swimming in them. Swimming in ectoplasm.
Yeah.
But no, the thing I wanted to point out, oh shit, I lost it.
We were talking about him being like, "No, you're dead," to Krychek.
Right. Well, yeah, that part I need to talk about in After Dark because it's something about Krychek specifically. The thing that he couldn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I remember what it was. He's been hiding out in New Mexico for a year, and the cigarette smoking man, who, as far as we know, has been dead for 2 years.
Who they're apparently neighbors, and I don't think Mulder knew that. But go on.
No, he's in Area 51, and he's just by the Pueblos. They're both in the same state. They both went off the map, like off the grid, in the same state.
They're shopping at the same supermarket.
Yeah, they're definitely members of the same Costco.
Yeah.
But it's Cancer Man gets a message to Mulder. He gets him the message that this is where you need to go. Here's the codes. This is how you need to break in and find the information you've always wanted. Just out of the blue, happens to track him down and send him this message from nowhere.
Right. You're right. No one else can find Mulder. I guess
Provoked by nothing. Provoked by nothing.
Provoked by nothing. There's a few things like that. It's also lucky that the military decided to tell anyone that they had Mulder. Like, I don't know why they couldn't just shoot him.
It's their best chance to execute him.
Yeah. And in fact, spoilers for episode 2, that is the plan. Mm-hmm. I guess they want to discredit him, but like, we keep saying this, he's not famous. There's no need to discredit him. He's not like a union leader. He's not like a personality. Like,
strangely, he's not famous. He should be. I mean, he's famous
for like speaking at MIT and talking about the FBI is out to get you.
He should be a notorious figure.
Yeah. But he's certainly not famous for being correct about anything.
No.
And so literally all they have to do, he is now missing. No one knows where he is. All they have to do is kill him and bury him in the desert. There's no strings attached anymore. Like, if they were worried that Scully or the FBI would investigate, no one knows where he is.
Nope.
And they catch him. And instead of just killing him, they're like, we're going to have a fair trial. And it's like, why? Why are you going to have a fair trial when you're cheating? It's not
even a fair trial. It's a foregone conclusion that they're going to find him guilty. It's a kangaroo court. So,
so it's like,
what is the point of this?
Yeah,
why didn't you just kill him?
Just kill him. Just murder Mulder.
Nobody would have ever known.
No one would have known. They could have shot him right there when he's on the base, when he broke in. That, I'm sure you could get away with that. Spoilers for the next part. He kills a man, or at least that's what
that's what it appears. Yeah.
So like, he could have easily just been shot right there and then on the base, and if anybody even knew, asked about it, they could have been like, he was killing people. We shot him. Like, it's so weird, but very lucky for Mulder that
Yeah,
they didn't
that they
just
decided to do
fucking
this
kill him.
weird circuitous court.
Yeah.
We have to
But
embarrass him first.
I really can't stress enough that Mulder has never had the power to speak with the dead. I guess his mom's ghost visited him once. Like, he's had, like, a little bit, but, like...
He's astral projected himself.
Right. It's clear that there's something bubbling up, that a power he has. I wish he constantly saw ghosts
Just
in the reboot.
continuously saw dead people.
Yeah, and we learned, like, yes, he unlocked a power. But boy, is it lucky that all of a sudden the ghosts of people who don't like him, Krychek does not care for Mulder.
The thing that I wanted to say for After Dark.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, that would be incredible if in the revival season he just had Krychek following him around like
be
Jack
so
in
good.
American Werewolf in London.
That'd be so good. Yeah. I want a spin-off called Alex Krychek Ghost Lawyer, where he just helps
Ghost
people
litigation.
in court cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
Because he literally, like, he puts
don't
a hand
ask any
on
more
his shoulder.
questions. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, he keeps advising him in
Yeah.
court.
And he's giving him good advice, apparently.
Yes. It's really weird.
Like Mulder says, no, you're dead. Why are you helping me? Because you can't do this alone. What?
That's...
What?
I wouldn't listen to a word Krychek said.
That's that's the After Dark thing.
Okay, yeah. Because I imagine Krychek gets him killed, and the last thing Mulder sees is Krychek's ghost pissing on his body.
Right.
Like, that's what you get,
Why else
fucker.
would this guy specifically come back from the dead, Mulder? He did nothing but fuck with you. He hated you.
He hated you, Mulder. He was your cricket.
Why are
watched
you
him
listening to
slowly-
his ghost? He's lying to you.
Holy shit.
He's a bad ghost. He's the Ring. You don't help him.
Don't help him.
He's
Don't
the
help
fucking
Krychek.
Grudge,
Don't
Mulder.
listen to him.
Don't help him. That was the
Yeah, no, I understand. It's hard not to mention that.
And the whole movie, he's treating him like he's Obi-Wan.
Yes,
It's like,
he is.
you guys hated each other.
That's so weird.
He shot your father.
Your boss shot him in the face, and you didn't even fucking blink. You were like, so are we going to get dinner or what? Like, he just does not care about
They
Krychek.
presumably helped cover up his murder.
Mulder handcuffed Krychek in a car in an airport parking lot and left him to die.
Yeah.
And Krychek luckily bargained his way out of it, but Mulder was fully intent on letting Krychek just die of
He was
thirst.
never coming back.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And Krychek's like, I'm here to help you, Mulder. And it's like, no, he's not.
No, he isn't. Don't listen to him.
It's so funny that he fucked Krychek so hard that Krychek's like his ghost assistant in this. It's so humiliating.
Doomed to be his little PA.
Yeah. Goddamn, we aren't even in the next segment. So any
man.
other luckiness?
No.
I mean, all right.
I mean, yeah, nothing other than what we've talked about, no.
Yeah. Literal X-Men on his side. Just Professor X as a child. As his assistant.
Weirdly not that helpful.
No, he really isn't.
Yeah,
the kid's never been that helpful.
Kid doesn't do fucking shit.
Yeah. He can read minds.
It feels like he should do it more often.
Right, he can convince... Remember when he used to convince a room full of people that he could read minds by, like, saying what they had for breakfast? Do that in the court.
Yeah.
The lawyer keeps being like, and what evidence do you have? The kid could just, like, speak out that man's fears.
Tell him his deepest, darkest secret.
Yeah,
Tell him that,
right
look,
there.
you're a habitual cheater. You're going to cheat on Drew Barrymore the second you get married.
Yeah. Oh my
Because you
God,
see, he's
that's
Glenn
where I
Guglia
knew
from The
him
Wedding
from.
Singer.
This whole time I was looking at that lawyer and I was like, where do I fucking know this
Glenn
guy?
Guglia.
Yeah, he looks roughly like McNulty. He has a McNulty face.
He is a little McNulty. He's like a squished McNulty.
He is. To the point that in The Wedding Singer, I remembered, I was like, was that McNulty? And then I rewatched it. I was like, no, that's not McNulty.
No, it's this guy.
Okay. I knew that. I knew this fucking guy. All right. Thank God. That is so funny.
The prosecutor putting Mulder on trial. The prosecutor who, spoilers, gets Mulder sentenced to death by lethal injection is Glenn Guglia from The Wedding Singer.
So he's going to end that way for Mulder. That's the hard. This is part 2, but that was the hardest I laughed. Is death by lethal injection.
His cat-like tendencies come full circle. They're literally putting him to sleep.
Yeah.
He's going to be thrashing around the room like a fucking cat.
Holy shit. All right.
It's going to be the most undignified execution.
Oh. All right. Is it time?
I think it's time.
Okay.
It's time to put on your paper slippers and start communing with the dead in your jail cell while you await the injection. Because it's time for Mulder After Dark. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
There's one thing I want to say just right up top is every moment of tenderness they do between Mulder and Scully in this episode and the part 2, it feels wrong. It doesn't feel right?
Well, it's rushed because we never saw it before.
Because they never they're talking about I was thinking about my child and his mother. And it's I had to remind myself that they never actually showed them sleeping together. It was very unclear how she got pregnant in the first place. It seems like she did in vitro, right?
Or immaculate conception.
Or
there was
immaculate
implications.
Conception. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
There was
I forgot about that.
The North Star. Remember?
Fucking fuck. That's the other thing that's so confusing about this finale is that there's so much retconning that's happened throughout the series.
Yeah, it's hard. No, I remember watching this and being like, okay, because it was a reveal, because it was still ambiguous. And for the fans, it was like most fans were like, yeah, I think we all know. But then him thinking about my child and her mother, it was like, okay. And then they kiss and you're like, all right. They later in the next movie, they just show them in bed together. They start and I remember even then watching that movie in theaters when they showed them in bed together, the audience cheered because they've shown so little and you forget that.
That's true. Yeah.
They show so little that you actually you're still they kind of tease it throughout because everybody since the episode 1, if Tumblr existed when the episode 1 came out, we would get the nastiest fucking drawings of Mulder and Scully and probably an alien and Skinner just railing each other.
I mean, it came out in 93, dude. We got those drawings when this was on the air.
That's true. That's all to say that people have been shipping them since day one.
Since day one, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that the will they won't they was always a part of it.
Oh, yeah. And so, they teased it out slower than anything else. That's the slowest they've teased out a will they won't they ever.
And I'm just so sad for Scully.
I know. It's her testifying. It was she's gone. She's gone.
Yeah, just completely. It's not even the character she was when the show started. She's
and Mulder's watching. He's so proud of her.
They really did Scully dirty over the course of this series.
Scully talking about a slave race and Roswell, and Mulder's watching I taught you well. I taught you well.
Her magic baby that she had to give away to keep safe.
Yeah. I love how the lawyer just wipes her out immediately, where he's like, isn't it true you guys are lovers and you got pregnant and had his love child? And then it's just yep.
Skinner says objection, and then he goes, no further questions.
Yeah. It's you just nullified every fucking thing she said.
It's just so, man, she is so, not the character she was at the beginning of the show.
No, not at all. She's lost.
All the stuff about her faith and her family and just everything that was specific, and her scientific mind and shit. It's just she's a complete Mulder disciple at this point, and it's so sad.
They all are.
They all are. They're to their own ruin. Even fucking Kirsch, but that's the next episode.
Yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
That's right.
I want to talk about the first 6 minutes of this episode because in the first 6 minutes of this episode, by minute 6, Mulder has electrocuted a man. And
Adam Baldwin.
Adam Baldwin,
Who
yes.
might be tied. Well, he's not tied, but he's close to Doggett with being the person who has died the most on the X-Files.
He has died a lot.
He ends up dying like 4 or 5 times by the
Yeah.
time we get to the end of the series.
But we get all the hits. So we get, what I mean by that is Mulder sneaks onto a base through like a van, a shuttle.
Through like a tour? Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
And the moment his feet hit the ground in that base, he runs.
He runs off, yeah. Like
He
a
just
kid
scatters.
tearing away from the tour group. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
You
a
have to
perfect
put
Mulder.
a child leash on Mulder. Yeah.
Yeah, no finesse whatsoever. He's doing what he did in that first episode or that early episode where he's just running to see how far he can get.
Yeah. He jumps up onto a computer and types in
Yeah.
a little code.
It was hard to believe because
Mulder-
I realized like that advance of a computer. I was like, I've never seen Mulder type at a computer that looks like that.
I know. Yeah, it was weird. It was reminding myself that this is 2002 and the X-Files
Yeah.
is so 90s. It's
That
like the most
GoldenEye ass
future-
room.
I know. It's the facility from GoldenEye.
It is.
Something I wanted to point out is Mulder scamper. He's been in hiding for over a year at this point because in order to keep the people he loves the most safe, right? Like Scully, his baby, everybody else.
Right.
He gets an anonymous message luring him out of hiding to a top secret government facility.
Yeah.
And because Mulder accepts anonymous tips just from anywhere without thinking twice about it.
The government is probably like, why didn't we do that? Why
Right,
didn't
like
we send
he
them a
never
note that
once
said
crosses his
Bigfoot,
right.
Bigfoot in
Never.
warehouse, Mulder. Come to warehouse.
Never crosses his mind it's a trap.
Yeah, never.
Never. And it was a fucking trap. Like
Yeah.
not in the way like it wasn't laid by the syndicate, but it was a trap from Cancer Man. Like he just he knew Mulder was going to get caught when he sent him
course.
out there.
He knew Mulder wasn't good enough, and so
Yeah.
he was like, "Yeah, I'll just send him there."
He wanted him to see what the ultimate conspiracy was, the December
Yeah.
22nd, 2012.
Mulder can't help it. He literally was like, "The truth. The truth is in here." Like that's literally you could have a box with a stick and a little note that says the truth under the box.
Just fold
and
it
Mulder
so he
would
has to
crawl
open
under
it.
there. Yeah.
Scully,
because
if
that's
I
what
don't
it
go
is.
under that box, I'm going to live the rest of my life wondering what would have happened if I did.
That is basically what happens. The cigarette smoking man is like, all right, just go in here. You'll find the truth, Mulder.
It's
and
like-
he does find the truth, and then he gets
It's
his
like the mob luring a guy out of witness protection.
yeah, with a donut.
Yeah.
It's so silly. So Mulder, he in the first 6 minutes, he scatters. He just runs into a base, and then he immediately gets thrown through a glass wall.
The computer screen, the top secret future computer we were talking about a second ago. Like
Mulder gets his ass kicked in true
by
Mulder
Adam
fashion.
Baldwin.
Yep.
Adam
He
Baldwin
flings
comes
him.
in and gorilla presses him through this fucking giant monitor.
The shot of Mulder with like his arms and legs all sprawled out, just smashing through this. So funny.
Yeah.
And even funnier by the fact that the moment Mulder hits the ground, he gets up and scampers away.
Yeah, I would.
It's like it's like a squirrel smashing through the windshield of a school bus. Like it's just like this like weird like adrenaline rush where
Right.
it's like
It
you know
doesn't-
he's injured, but
Yeah,
he
it doesn't
know it yet.
Doesn't realize it's dead yet. It's just running on pure adrenaline.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, got to get up and move.
It's so funny. 6 minutes in.
He collapses outside the facility, just bleeding from the ear. He's just dead.
Yeah, they would have just found his body just like inches away from the
It
door.
turns out you can't get choke slammed 15 feet through a computer.
Yeah, I guess we know why he's seeing ghosts.
Yeah. He's got 1 foot in the fucking other side.
Holy shit. So yeah, Mulder gets his ass handed to him. And then Adam Baldwin chases him and he electrocutes him and then gets locked up. And that's the first 6 minutes. And I was like, okay, well, we don't really need to see much more for Crazy Like a Fox, but let's keep going.
Pretty good numbers. Also, just for a tally, I think that's the 3rd time Adam Baldwin has died.
Probably. So he
exploded this time,
Yep.
and I felt like there was one other time, like he got shot or
He's at least-
crushed in the garbage
Right.
compactor, right? Wasn't that him, or was that the other guy?
It was the other guy. He was blown up, though.
I know he was blown up. I felt like there was one other time.
He's
anyway.
at least tied with Doggett. I think Doggett still has died more, but
Doggett's died, what, 4 times or 3 times?
Something like that. 3 or 4. Depends on your definition. Like, drowning is technically not a death.
He did. His heart stopped.
Oh, yeah,
his
you're right.
His spirit left him. He had to be revived by Lucy Flawless.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he drowned. He got shot with a shotgun and regurgitated.
Yeah. Oh, and he got killed in a different dimension.
He got killed in an alternate dimension.
Yeah. So that's 3.
I feel like he's died one more time.
He's definitely died inside several times.
Oh, yeah.
He is dead.
If it is 3, then yeah, he will tie with Adam Baldwin because Adam Baldwin dies one more time.
That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, he beats Adam Baldwin for resurrections. And if you count the fact that Doggett has to die again eventually, then he does ultimately beat
He
Adam
will
Baldwin.
have 4 deaths, yeah.
Yeah. So Mulder gets interrogated, and I know he's putting up an act, but it's very funny that it takes him like a day to give in. Because he like grows.
I think the passage of time was supposed to be longer.
There's like some stubble, but it just reminded me of there's the Star Trek TNG, the famous episode where Picard is tortured by David Warner, and it's the how many lights are there? There are 4 lights, and he's trying to convince him there's 5, and Picard never breaks, and it's like this big grand thing. And then I compare to this where they keep asking him a question. What are you thinking? And Mulder, like in the montage, it's like the 3rd time he's just like, yeah, I give up, I give in, and it's very funny to me.
It's the progression is just like, what do you want me to think? Like he's, please tell me what you want me to say. Please, that's like his immediate instinct.
For the record, I would also do this.
Yes,
but it's very funny.
Because whatever's going to get me out of this room.
Right, it's the smarter way. I always actually in the Picard episode, I always thought he should just immediately go like, "Yeah, sure, man. There's 5 lights."
Yeah, there's 5 lights. What the fuck ever. Like,
yeah, and it just like takes the fucking wind out of his sails of like, "No, I wanted to break you," and it's like, "I'm broken.
I'm broken. Yeah,
you won, you dick."
Yeah.
But that's
totally
basically
spineless.
what Mulder does. Yeah. You want me to give up my friends? I'll give up my friends.
I have no shame. So.
Yeah.
Like Mulder.
Yeah. So Mulder's seemingly brainwashed when Scully visits, and then when she sees him private, he lets her know that he's not actually brainwashed. How does he do that, Tom?
With the most bizarre Silence of the Lambs reference, which I assume...
He says, "I smelled you coming, Clarice."
Yeah.
Which I don't think is a quote from the movie. It's like a dad joke, right?
It's a paraphrase. He mentions her perfume at some point, I think. But I think it's also like maybe a meta reference to
Gillian Anderson. Yeah,
she wasn't allowed to play Clarice in Hannibal.
Yes, I think so. But it's also, I love that because the moment he says it, Scully's like, "Oh, thank God." Right. And that's so funny because it's all it takes is one bad joke.
Well,
and Scully's just like, "Okay, it's you."
The funnier thing is to watch Skinner's reaction in that scene. When Mulder tells the joke, because Skinner just goes like, looks down.
Yeah. And then they start smooching.
Like,
and Skinner's
Mulder.
like, "Do I have to be here for this?"
Skinner's just standing there like looking down like, "Yeah, I guess I'm standing here for the next minute or 2.
And then I have some Skinner stuff because what happens next is they're going to put you on trial. We need to get you a lawyer. And Mulder says, "No, Skinner, you'll be my lawyer."
You're my lawyer.
And Skinner basically is like Air Bud for the rest of this episode.
Pretty much.
Like he has no idea what he's doing. And it's so funny because Mulder's just like, "I trust you. And I know what I'm doing. Trust me." Skinner has to be like, "You don't understand. I don't know anything about military law. Like I don't know what I'm doing."
I'm not a lawyer.
And Mulder's gambit that he very confidently says is, "They don't have a body," which I just think is very funny because it's like, Mulder, they're the military. They'll find a body.
Invent one. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's just Mulder. It's so weirdly naive of him to be like, "There's no body," and then they're immediately like, "There's a body," and he is like, "Oh."
It's like, oh, bullshit.
Like he's just like,
he doesn't respond. He's just completely frozen, deer in the headlights.
Yeah. So yeah, this is stacking up to be insanity because Now we have Skinner defending Mulder in court.
That should have been the defense.
Yeah, insanity? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mulder says he's been in New Mexico looking for the truth. And
yeah, so
I'm just imagining so much fucking yurt peyote.
just in a yurt out in the desert.
Yeah.
Trying to break into Roswell.
Yeah. Yeah, repeatedly. They just know him by name. They're like, he's harmless. Don't worry about him.
Nope. Trying to break into Area 51.
Yeah. So now we get the fucking Mulder on trial. And again, there's just nothing funnier than watching people just say things with a serious... Skinner, who again, has no idea what he's doing, just starts calling people up to, like, say stuff.
Yeah.
And it is the most batshit, because it immediately starts with Scully being like, so at the beginning of time, a meteor crashed to Earth. And the lawyer is just like, I'm sorry, objection.
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah. What is this? He says, quote, what does this have to do with Mulder murdering a man in cold blood? Can you imagine a trial where the lawyer is like, since the beginning of time? It's like,
Webster's
no,
defines.
we're not doing this. And
Talking
Skinner
about
is just
meteors. Or a Martian rock. That's literally what she says. Either a meteor fragment or a rock from Mars.
And the lawyer, and they start gaslighting the lawyer. Like Skinner's like, "Excuse me, this is all like he's acts like what he's doing is perfectly reasonable." And then he's like, "So a meteor crashed to Earth. Go on."
Yeah. So these aliens, and then these aliens, and then these renegade aliens, and then these henchmen aliens.
And everybody who knows, like, Kirsch looks so embarrassed because he knows that they're technically under him. And it's like, he knows they're going to razz him for this later, if anything. Everybody looks so uncomfortable as Scully lays all that out. And then, of course, like we said, they just say, you guys were lovers. So that's Scully. Next comes the guy, Spender, who's like, I am Mulder's half-brother. God,
Spender makes no sense.
It's all people who, like, personally know Mulder. And so it just speaks to such a cult where it's like, all right, I'm his half brother. And there was a alien conspiracy where my father tried to kill me. And then he explains what happened to Mulder's sister. And boy, does he yada yada the she turned to Starlight thing. I was waiting for the other lawyer, the prosecution, to be like, I want you to go into more detail. What exactly happened to Mulder's sister? Make the guy say, like, she was turned into Starlight.
She died in 1978.
Yeah.
Essentially at the hand of my father is what he says.
Yeah.
It's
and
like,
that's it.
that is not what you told us.
Yeah.
X-Files.
Yeah.
You said she turned into Starlight by yet another race of benevolent aliens
It's
that
so
search
funny.
the galaxy for wayward souls.
Yeah. So he explains the sister journey. So we learn exactly. We already knew what happened to his sister, but we hear it out loud again. And it's so funny that after that first day, because then the prosecution is like, "Isn't it true that Mulder, like, beat you up?" And they do that flashback of Mulder, like, bullying Spender.
Yep, shoving his badge in his mouth.
Yeah. Like, and you, like, hated this guy, and he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I did.
And after day one, Scully shows up and she's like, "You absolutely have to make a deal, Mulder."
He's like,
Like,
no,
this
I
is
gotta
not working out.
It's like, it's exactly as bad as every trial clip you've ever seen of somebody trying to represent themselves.
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be the triumphant finale of the X-Files. And in 2024, in the post-truth years where, like, conspiracy isn't fun anymore, it's like this weird, toxic brainworm shit. Like, this just comes off as the most deranged shit.
It's nonsense.
To hear it all at once, like, it's one narrative. It's incredible.
All they had to do was make this public, and then at the end they could have said, "Okay, arrest everybody. Just arrest all of them."
I think we need to
we've
shut
heard
down
enough.
the FBI temporarily.
Yeah. Then fucking Laurie Holden goes up, And like, I loved her testimony because she blasts over the term shape-shifting bounty hunters.
She sure does.
And like, that they should, again, it's one of those moments where they should go like, okay, stop. We need you to rewind. We need you to explain shape-shifting bounty. There's so many insane details that they have to just yada yada real quick.
It's very Game of Thrones, yeah.
Yeah. It's Mulder's legacy just said out loud.
Just this litany of people he's ruined.
Yeah. On trial.
Speaking of which.
Again, it's the Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Do you have nothing else for Mulder After Dark? I have one quick Skinner After Dark.
I thought I did, but maybe I don't. Yeah, go ahead and
Because
give me your Skinner.
So Gibson gets called as a surprise witness. Oh, that might be in the next episode, but this counts here. So when Gibson is a surprise witness, Skinner doesn't have to read up. He is a surprise to Skinner. They come in the room and they go like, "We have Gibson." He comes in, and Skinner he sums up Gibson's report perfectly, right? And throughout this, Skinner is, again, it feels like he has a day to prepare. And what you realize is Skinner knows the X-Files inside and out. Mm-hmm. And that means, we've talked about it so much, Skinner read all of Mulder's reports and he
sure
retained them. He
retained all that information.
That is wild. That's a wild reveal that Skinner is just as like knowledgeable of the X-Files as Mulder. It's like, I think it's like his novels that he reads at night. Like, this is what he does
This is what he does to relax when he's in his bubble baths.
Yeah, he whips out an X-File.
the X-File.
And he's like, you know what?
Chuckling to himself, drinking a whiskey out of a tumbler.
Yeah, it makes sense. Why is Mulder allowed to write this like weird poetry reports? Because Skinner enjoys reading them.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what Mulder had to say about this invisible man.
Yeah, that's great.
Reading
All
it.
right.
Smoking a cigar in the bathtub.
Yeah, just having a great time. Like, man, he's going to die in a military prison someday, isn't he?
I think he's got one about a blob in here. Like a Steve McQueen blob.
I got to read the one about me. I love the one about me. All right. Well,
yeah, I think that's all I had.
Okay. Well, it's time to talk about who does and doesn't need this. It's, you know what? John Doggett doesn't need this. He really doesn't. Really doesn't. I don't have too much. Just the fact that...
No, not really. He does the best, honestly, when they get him on the stand. Is that this episode, though, or is that next episode?
I think it's the next one.
It's the next one. So this one, he's just kind of...
He's just doing legwork. It's just Doggett doing legwork.
He's just a gopher.
He is kind of pissed the whole time. I have more from him in the next episode, but it's just very
like bewildered
funny.
this episode.
Where they're like, we found Mulder. He's being charged for the death of the guy that you watched die.
Right.
And he's
the
just
guy
like,
that you served with and you've seen him die multiple times.
Right. And Doggett he's just like, come on. Can't this just be normal? And that's pretty much it. And then he's the aide. He's the guy who's running around finding things. That's it. So that's all I have for him.
Yeah.
More for the next episode.
He's pretty sick of Noel at this point. Noel Rohr. He just keeps having to deal with that guy.
Yeah, he does. He is pretty sick of that shit. Fireable offenses.
Oh, wait, there was one more, I think. Is this the one where is it this episode where the kid's sneaking around outside his house and he grabs him and points a gun to his face?
Technically it's the next, but we could talk about it here.
We'll get to it next episode. That's fine.
All right. For fireable offenses, I just say about all of it, everything. I
really,
don't think he's coming back for the FBI.
Everything contained in everyone's testimony, pretty much. Like, he gets sentenced to lethal injection in the next episode.
Yeah, they're all, yes. I mean, this is fireable offenses, fireable into the sun. He is, no, even if he makes it out of this, and, we'll see. We'll see what happens. He's certainly not going to get invited back to the FBI, even as a guest. Like, I don't think he's allowed in Washington.
He's not allowed in D.C., yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. No, he murdered a man on a government
base. He's not even allowed in Northern Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into the next episode, but yeah, it's just for this episode alone, yeah, he's kaput. He's done. And so is Scully and Skinner and pretty much everybody who's on Mulder's side.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think Mulder will be able to work at like a Wendy's after this.
He'll grow a mustache and start trying to get filling out applications as Marty Mulder.
Yeah, he will.
George Hale.
Name the enabler. I want to know.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I want to do an honorable mention to the FBI because Kirsch says in the trial, he says something about wanting to help Mulder, quote, based on his good character. And I was like, his what?
Excuse me?
Yeah, what? He punched his boss like a few years ago. He has no good character.
No, the Mulder's saving grace was that he was good at what he did, not that he had good character.
Yeah, and so it's like what a nightmare thing to say. The FBI, it's the FBI. We don't talk about it enough. Like they should have shut this down year one. This is all on them. This is madness.
Yeah, honestly, when they shot Deep Throat and left him with Mulder with his eyes and mouth burned shut on a bridge.
Yeah, they should have read that report and went like, we don't need an X-Files,
we should pull the plug on this, right? We don't need to pursue this any further.
Barely made any arrests. It's costing a lot of money, and shit like this keeps happening. We're all set. We're all set. Mulder, we're all set. You can go. It's wild that they're like, let's see this play out for 9 more years.
9 more years. Let's see where this goes. Let it ride.
Yeah. But of course there's Mulder as the enabler too.
It's kind of everyone, right? They're all that's the point of this episode. It's the culmination of all things. They're all enabling Mulder.
Yeah. Again, I can't stress enough it should end like Seinfeld with them all in jail and then they just start talking about aliens again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That brings us to our final segment, Crazy Like a Fox.
Folks, this is a part of the episode where we assign a numerical rating from 1 to 10 to grade Agent Fox Mulder's behavior. 1 being calm, cool, collected, a representative of the federal government. 10 being none of the things that I just said. Say, scampering off a bus into a top-secret facility and shoving a man into electric cables.
Yeah.
50 feet off of a catwalk. In front of dozens of witnesses.
Dozens. Yeah, we already sort of alluded to this. I think he's a 10 in the first 6 minutes of this episode.
Right, immediately.
The 10.
Fact that he showed his face in public is a 10. Everything else afterwards.
You're right. The first shot of Mulder is a 10.
Yeah, Mulder being lured out by an obvious fucking assassin.
Yeah. Yeah. This
you
is
just won the lottery,
10.
Mulder. You won the Bigfoot sex lottery.
Yeah. Bigfoot sex
Come
lottery.
get your free 16-volume VHS collection of Bigfoot sex tapes.
Holy shit.
He'd be first in line, and then he'd get shot right in the back of the head with a 38.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Buried in the desert.
Yeah.
Nobody ever sees him again.
Nope.
I just wanted to keep my child and lover safe. Alien lottery, you say? Wait, I won a new car?
Holy shit.
Yeah, everything he does, it's what was it, Fallen Angel, where he jumps in over the chain in the facility and almost trips.
So fucking funny. It's so funny
It's
him running.
It's a repeat of that.
He plays all the hits.
He does, and it's like flashing back to that episode. That's like the 7th episode of the series, and in that episode, they should have just very nearly execute him.
Yeah. No, yeah, they would have done us all a favor. Holy shit. Yeah, this is a
scampering through top secret warehouses or whatever this is.
He does it all. He gets his ass kicked. He scampers.
Yep.
He tries to sneak in. He does an infiltration. He does a bad joke. The only thing he doesn't do is throw out a wild... No, the courtroom. I was going to say the only thing he doesn't do is throw out a wild accusation with nothing, but that's his entire trial, is people throwing out wild theories with no evidence.
Pretty wild claims.
Yeah. He gets like demoralized in jail. It's all... He's playing all the hits. He kills a man. He endangers people. Everybody is in danger in this. Mm-hmm. He gaslights. It's all there for everyone to see.
This is in the next episode, so I'll save that for then.
All right. Speaking of
yeah,
which,
it's a full-on 10, yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, it's a 10. Yeah, we got so much more to talk about. My God, we're only halfway through.
Man, only half of the truth.
Yeah.
The rest of the truth is still out there.
It is. In season 9, episode 20, The Truth Part 2, which you can listen to on our Patreon, patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. You'll get the other half of this 2-parter. And boy, you'll get the next X-Files movie. And you'll get 2 more seasons of this. My God. And if you haven't just listened to the show before, you get fucking 9 seasons.
Yeah,
that are all there on our
200
Patreon.
episodes of this.
Yeah. And then also Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, another podcast. Star Trek The Next Futurama and Spiel Boys. Those are all for $5 a month on our Patreon. And then we also watch movies, sometimes even X-Files movies, every Friday night. That's another thing on our Patreon. So you should check that out.
Yeah, do it. We also have a store. Head over to gamefullyunemployed.com. You can find a link to our Teespring store where you have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs you can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, all sorts of things. So slap your little alien peepers onto that and keep Mulder in your hearts. Keep them there.
Keep Mulder in your hearts.
Listen, just because the original series is coming to a close doesn't mean you need to stop celebrating Mulder Day.
Yeah. He killed somebody for your sins. He electrocuted a man for your sins.
He electrocuted Adam Baldwin for your sins.
Artwork for Fox Mulder as a Maniac is produced by Starlene Hodge. You can see more of her work at starlenearts.com or on twitter.com as StarleneX.